Hey guys, my name is Dr. Amy Post-mccorkle. Welcome to our class. So this is online public speaking, and this is actually one of my favorite classes to teach. Actually, it's my favorite if it's on ground, but it's still really good online though too. You know, public speaking is the number one fear of Americans. It's above death and above spiders. And if you think about it, like polls for decades have indicated that. Most everyone is terrified of public speaking in a general sense. And so what does that mean? That means if we were all at a funeral right now, most of the audience members would much rather be the person having to be in the coffin versus having to be a speaker giving a eulogy. Anyway, so I've actually never had to give a eulogy in my life, now that I think about it. And I know that there'll probably be one day that I would have to, but, you can have a lot of public speaking experience and still be put into a lot of new situations. But anyway, I won't go on with that, guys. But no, if you think about it, students are coming out of colleges and they've got their degrees. So let's just say nursing or engineering or math, English, science, all the big list of different various fields. But career services has continually told colleges, especially in the last decade, that students are coming out and they're still lacking the soft skills. And so what are soft skills? That you're writing and that you're speaking. So, it pays to be able to speak well, to be able to carry yourself. And oftentimes we think, well, it's not every day that you just go out and give a speech. We don't oftentimes get that practice. But what you want to start to do is and challenge yourself. And so I'm pitching this to you for a reason, is that you want to think of yourself as actively public speaking in all settings. So whether it's an audience of one, if it's an audience of 3, audience of 10, audience of 100. In other words, if you're very aware of your everyday speaking disposition at all times, and you start to actually be aware of it as you're doing it, it actually becomes, you actually start to become comfortable with the discomfort. So you start to find comfort in that discomfort. And so, and it seems like a large exaggeration, but it's true. That awareness is the key thing that will set you apart. Let's say you go out to eat with 2 other people and all of a sudden the conversation is redirected towards you. And it's like, hey, Amy, I heard you went to that concert in Tulsa last weekend or something. How was it? And so in other words, all of a sudden, now you have those other 2 people's attention and you're speaking. But when you're speaking, you're actively aware of what you're doing while you're doing it. I know that, let's say, for example, if all of a sudden you got pulled over by a cop right now, it's like, oh, you're very aware, officer, how's it going? You're very aware of how you're presenting, or if you're at the college and the dean stops you in the hallway and wants to know how your studies are going. It's like all of a sudden you're very aware of how you're carrying yourself. So if you think about it, if you were that aware in all situations, in all settings, then you actually are conscientiously practicing that act of public speaking at all times. And so really, that's really what we want to do. We really want to start to think of ourselves as, it doesn't matter if it's an audience of 1 or if it's an audience of 1,000. And yes, I know that's a huge, large leap, but that's what we really want to start to think of, is that we're actively working on our everyday speaking disposition at all times. It pays to be able to speak well. People notice people that speak well, quite frankly. If your interpersonal skills, that's what's going to get you that next promotion. It's going to, help you to move up in a company. Or even just if you think about it, if you get it into an interview, what do you got to be able to do? You got to be able to sell yourself, which is the product. So, it's just something that, this class, with it being online, it's a little different. You're speaking into the phone, and so you pretend as if you're speaking to the mass audience. But I really want you to take it one step further and don't just think of yourself as going through this class to get a grade. Think of it as this class is going to help you in your next classes. It's going to help you in your life beyond. and really start to create that awareness as you are out in everyday settings with people. Start to really be aware of how you're presenting yourself. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you that pitch really quick. But guys, I come from a divided house. I have a PhD from OU, University of Oklahoma, in communication, and then I went to OSU, Oklahoma State University, for my master's degree. So my PhD is in communication with the emphasis in interpersonal, and then my master's was in speech communication. So I just want you to know that, you know, most people do come into this class a little terrified, but you also have speakers that come in and they're already great speakers. If you think about it, it's all about our backgrounds. If you've already given a lot of presentations in your life up to this point, well, you're already well practiced. You have some experience behind you. But sometimes you have people that come into the class and they've really never put any type of presentation together and not had to be in front of people a lot speaking. So everybody comes to this class with different levels of experience, but the key is just to improve. We want everyone to improve. And so if you're already a really good speaker, well, we're going to take you from good to great. If you're crippled with anxiety, then we're going to help you to become a little bit more comfortable. So I'm just sitting here on this chair like I'm actually at my parents' right now. So guys, my full-time job is at Midland College. I'm the department chair for language, speech, and communication. Been out there for about 3 years, and I moved to Midland, Texas from Oklahoma City. I was, teaching on ground at all the various colleges around here. But then when I moved to Midland, I still teach online for a lot of the Oklahoma City schools, such as OCCC and MacU, Rose State, and actually I'm everywhere, and Redlands Community College. But I've got a pretty cool gig going on for a teacher, so it's been such a blessing. And guys, just pay attention to your weaknesses, because you never know. Your weaknesses can turn into your greatest strengths. And so I will tell you that, yes, there are those natural public speakers out there, but I just want to impress upon you that public speaking is a skill just like anything else. And with practice, anyone can become a good speaker. So it's not that you just have to already have been a good speaker. It's that anyone can become a good speaker. It's just all about throwing yourself out there and putting yourself in those unplanned circumstances and really learning to trust yourself to speak extemporaneously, in the moment. But guys, I hope you guys have a great day. I wanted to tell you that, or a great start to the class. My information is actually on the homepage, so please reach out, whether it be through text message. You can call me, you can email me. I do give out my cell phone, and I do that because I want students to feel comfortable, and I just want you to know that I'm here to serve you, and that I can and that I'm glad to help you in any way that I can. So I've been teaching in college for 28 going on 29 years. I got my start as a teaching assistant when I was at Oklahoma State University, and then later when I was at OU. So God will throw your purpose in front of you when you least expect it. I didn't set out to be a college professor, but that's what happened. And without going into a big story, guys, I went into a master's program because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew, well, I'll just continue my education. I went straight from the bachelor's to the master's. And the dean asked me in the hallway if I wanted to apply for a teaching assistant position. I thought the guy was crazy. I thought, oh my gosh, I was just happy to get into the master's program. And sure enough, I got a phone call a week later, and they said, congratulations, you're going to be teaching 3 sections of public speaking. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is the worst news ever. I was not very much older than the other college students at the time. So, I was 23 going on 24 at the time. But as soon as I stepped into that classroom, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So guys, just, keep your eyes open, keep your eyes on the prize. And even if you don't know exactly what you want to do in this life, you stay inspired and you keep the faith, and that like I said, your purpose will fall in front of you when you least expect it. All right, guys. Well, have a good start to the class, and please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you, and have a great week.